Topspin is probably one of the most important elements of hitting a great forehand. Whether you're a beginner or advanced player, you have to understand or learn how to hit topspin effectively. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 drills that are going to help you regardless of what level you're at. Like I said before, topspin is probably one of those elements that are probably one of the most important things to hitting a great ground stroke, especially a forehand. The reason why this is because topspin can add more margin, meaning you can be more consistent, and consistency is the foundation of tennis. So by using topspin, you can actually hit the ball harder, have more safety, and have more opportunities to hit the ball in the court in difficult situations. For example, if the ball is low, instead of having to dink it, if you can get under and create some topspin, you can get the ball to dip faster. Also, if you're at the baseline, you can use topspin to get the ball lower to your opponent's feet if they're at net, making them pop up the ball. Topspin can be used in so many different ways, and it's really important that you understand that this is a crucial element. If you're at the beginning of your tennis journey, definitely learn it. If you're more advanced, start learning how to accelerate with more topspin, and that's what we're going to get down to. So there's really 2 main things you want to consider when you're thinking about topspin. It's the racket face angle, but now more so the path. What I mean by the racket face angle is going to depend on how high your topspin goes. This is going to direct the ball. But more importantly, if you have that down and you're not creating topspin, is the path, meaning that at what level are you hitting up on the ball? Are you barely coming up on the ball, which will give you some general topspin, or are you drastically coming up on the ball, giving you a ton of topspin? You'll notice like players like Nadal, who hit more excessive topspin than a lot of other players, their ground stroke, especially on his forehand, comes up on the ball more than a lot of other players, hence giving more topspin. Now here's the negative portion about topspin. If you hit too much topspin on the ball, it starts to slow it down, meaning you have to work harder. Hence, you see Nadal having to do so much work sometimes. But it pays off for him because he hits the right mix of topspin and drive, so the ball jumps up without losing too much speed. It's really effective because it gets the ball to jump out of his opponent's strike zone. Hey, if you like this video so far, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you get more free great videos just like this one to help your tennis game out. So let's get back to the lesson. So the 3 drills that we're going to go over today are, one is about making sure you get under the ball so you have the ability to create that contrast, that upward swing. And depending on how much upward swing you want will depend on how much topspin you gain. After that, we're going to start working on acceleration. How do we get that racket moving faster to create that aggressive topspin? So if you want to dip it to your opponent's feet if they're at the net, or you just want to have that ball that kicks off the court when you're hitting ground strokes, this is what you're going to really want to pay attention to. The very first drill we're going to do is really working on the racket face to make sure as we're coming up, we're not dumping balls in the net. This is a big problem when people are trying to learn topspin. What they do is they either create the upward swing, but the racket face is too close, sending the ball in the net, or they open the racket too much and it sends the ball up, but it's so open that it actually turns into a flat hit again and they don't get any spin. So this is a great drill to make sure you understand how to control that racket face. And so what we're going to do is start off with the racket nice and level like this, and we're going to close it. I'm not changing my grip, I'm just changing the racket face angle of my wrist. And as I come up, I actually want to hit the ball in the net. And you can see is I'm not taking a big backswing, I'm just coming up on the ball and the ball is going in the net. But here's the thing you want to look for and feel. Feel the ball rolling off the strings as it goes in the net. Next, we're going to open up the racket face. Now here's the tricky part. We're going to open it up, but not completely, just a little bit. Because if you open up too much, as you come up, it's going to be a straight, direct hit. What we want is the brushing feeling. And again, topspin is making sure we start below the ball and coming up. Below the ball and coming up. So here we're going to open that racket face and come up. And as you watch the ball going over the net, you're going to see it having spin on it. And that's what you want. And notice how it went higher. Now the next one is I'm going to basically do it where it's vertical. And this will not have the ball go as high, but I still want that spin. So again, just coming up, and that's where we start to get that spin action. This is a great drill just to make sure as you're hitting topspin, you're getting the ball at the right height. So, and it's different for everybody. When you're at the baseline, you're going to probably want the ball, 4 or 5 feet above the net. So you're going to have to really understand what that racket face is going to need to be like. When you're being aggressive and you still want a lot of topspin, you're going to close the racket face to maybe be vertical and create that topspin. So it really depends on how fast you can swing and how high you want the ball to go. And this is the drill to continuously work on that by just dropping it and getting the ball to go the right height over the net with spin. The next drill we're going to work on is making sure you get under the ball. This is such a key distinction. A lot of players can kind of keep the stiff wrist, get under their ball a little bit, and they don't really get a lot of topspin. So they can get a little bit of topspin. If you really want to start getting more topspin, maybe really rip through the ball, you got to be able to get under the ball. And so the drill is really, really simple. It's just dropping the ball and swinging under the ball. To swing under the ball, you have to drop the racket below the height of the ball and swing up. And notice how I'm not really like babying my swing. I'm waiting and getting under. You're gonna do this probably about 3 or 4 times, and then after this, what you're gonna do is do the exact same swing where you get under, but then I'm gonna hit the ball. You have to train yourself to have this ability to get under the ball and swing up. So this is what it looks like now. And so that same drill where I was swinging under now, and then really working on dropping my racket head, I take that into now hitting the ball. And you can hear this whoosh, whoosh sound that you're making with the ball. Now, another idea that I want to kind of give you is this idea of thinness and thickness when you're hitting. As I'm making contact, I'm being aware of how thin or thick I hit the ball. And what I mean by thin or thick is if I barely hit the edge of the ball while I'm coming up, that's very thin. If I get more of the ball, and you're gonna feel more of kind of like the ball brushing the strings in a thicker manner, that's thick. As I get thicker, the ball's gonna tend to go through the court a little bit more and probably not have as much spin. As I get thinner, you're gonna feel like you can swing faster without hitting the ball too long, okay? So as I get really thin here, you're gonna probably, if you can hear, I don't know if you can hear with the mic, hear a really thin sound, a really thin brushing, and I'm really accelerating my racket. Compared to being thicker, the ball still has a lot of spin, but it's going through the court. Now, these are great distinctions to understand, because if you're having a bad day, don't be as thick when you're hitting through the ball. Be thinner, and you can still accelerate. Because I think one of the biggest things that players have trouble with is they get nervous and they're hitting through the ball and they get tight and they can't swing because they're swinging thick. Swing thin, get a little bit of the ball while swinging fast, and then you'll still have that confidence of swinging through the ball. And then you can slowly start swinging thicker through the ball. So I hope this concept makes sense, because it's a lifesaver when you're having a bad day, but you don't want to get where you're getting tight and not really hitting through the ball. Just go thinner, build up your confidence again, and then start going thick through the ball. In this third drill, this is where we're gonna start working on hitting that heavy ball. Now, it's really important that when we get to this stage and we're gonna start using a lot of acceleration, that you understand how to use your body. If you don't know how to use your body, don't worry, I've got you taken care of. Go watch this video right here and you'll understand how to use your body. This is gonna be really, really crucial, because we're gonna start really revving up my racket head speed, combining having the right racket face that we worked on, making sure that we get under the ball, and using my body to really accelerate through the ball. Now, there's 2 versions of this drill. I'm gonna do the version that you can do by yourself. You can do a version you've probably seen advanced type players do sometimes, where the coach is throwing balls in the air. But basically what you're trying to do is use your body to swing really fast. And you can really see how now I'm setting my body's in this coil position, and I'm gonna really start rotating my body and using the separation, which we call a unit turn in my body, the separation between my shoulders and my hips, to really generate spin. And I can hold about 3 balls, maybe 4 balls. And if you can hold those, what you're gonna do is toss in the air. You can really see how I'm accelerating through the ball. And you can see why I'm accelerating through the ball, because I'm using my body, not just my arm. Notice on the previous swings, I'm not swinging super, super hard, because then I would just be doing all of my arm. Now that we've gotten to this stage, we want to start using your entire body to generate that pace. Let's do it one more time. And again, you can really see how I'm accelerating my body. Now here's the thing, I'm accelerating my body at my level where I can pretty much control it. I don't feel like I'm throwing something out of whack or anything, but I'm really accelerating really hard, and it takes training to get to this level. Now, if you do this drill and you find that, hey, balls are going in the net, balls are going too long, then guess what? Your racket face isn't right, and that's the adjustments you need to make. When I'm hitting this, all my balls went in. I know you can't see it right now, but all my balls went in, so I don't need to make an adjustment. I need to rinse and repeat. And now the final kind of thing that wraps this all up is repetition. You gotta be able to do this all the time. You gotta go out and practice this all the time. And that's how you build the skill of creating great topspin on your forehand. Hey, I hope you like this video. If you wanna get better at your tennis game, also make sure you go to totaltennisdomination.org and sign up for our free newsletter. This is something where I send out tips and different things that I know that'll help your game to only my subscribers. So if you're interested, make sure you go to our website, totaltennisdomination.org, and sign up for our free newsletter.